Thank you so much for coming. I'm Vera. I'm Teen Vogue's Wellness Features Editor. We're going to be talking about sexual wellness and what a happy, healthy sex life looks like in 2018.
To not talk about sex. So like my mom and my dad were very religious, so sex was like an act between like a married couple. I'm not like waiting till marriage, but I still think that sex should be between like a serious relationship.
My mother got married to my father when she was 19, and they immigrated from Burma to the United States. So I think all of those complexities proved to be like pretty big barriers to me talking about sex with my mom.
My mom, she always used to say, oh, wait 4 sets until marriage. And then I always thought in the back of my head, but you didn't. So I'm just like, why are you telling me to do stuff that you didn't do?
Looking back, I don't remember really learning anything other than use condoms, but actually don't have sex. I felt like it really set me up for failure because by the time I actually did have sex, it was a disaster because I didn't really know what felt good. Like it hurt most of the time and I felt like I was kind of just doing it because I really liked the person I was with and I was like, well, if they're excited about it, cool.
And like you kind of feel like, oh, if I don't feel good during it, then I'm in the wrong. Some people think it comes naturally, when in reality, like it does take work. You need to practice to know yourself.
There's definitely a connection between the shame that we kind of collectively experienced around masturbation and connecting it to not ever having some like comprehensive sex ed. So I think not knowing how your body works deeply impacts, any sort of pleasure that you have with yourself or anyone else.
I know friends that have been having sex and they still can't orgasm. They can't even do it by themselves. And I just tell them like they need to figure it out on their own and like learn like what they like in their bodies.
I remember the first time I asked a partner if something felt good and then they did it too. Like, they're like, does this feel good? And I was like, oh my God, no one's asked me that before. And no, it doesn't. It feels awful.
Well, we were both virgins, so I didn't feel like any pressure like to know anything. It was kind of like one of those awkward moments where like there was like a lot of questions and just like figuring out things together, which I felt made the experience a lot more pleasurable.
I personally think that's where like the real intimacy is found, in those like weird, awkward pillow talk conversations.
Now as an adult, I feel comfortable carrying my own condoms. I'd be on birth control, but it's like, I feel like a lot of people forget, like if you're taking an oral contraceptive, you think, okay, I can't get pregnant. People always forget about STIs.
If you don't trust your partner, then I would hope that you would then ask them to use a condom. If you're going to have multiple partners, then communicate that. Just being honest with each other.
There were times where like there would be like mini arguments. I'll be like, oh no, like I'm not in the mood today. He's like, well, why aren't you in the mood? Like, am I ugly? And I'm just like, no, you're not ugly.
I feel like I have to like prepare a whole monologue about why I don't want to necessarily do something. Like know your body and like feel comfortable with what feels good and like don't be ashamed of telling someone that what they're doing doesn't feel good.
It's okay to say no, and it's also okay not to desire sex and also not to have an explanation for why I don't desire it.
Be comfortable in what feels good. Like masturbation is okay and it's not a dirty thing.
I would tell my younger self to not push her instincts down, to like really listen to that little voice in your head when you're in those intimate moments, because like it can go a long way and can teach you a lot.
It's okay to be horny. I feel like a lot of people think that females shouldn't feel this way. They shouldn't want sex as a guy thing. If I wanted to masturbate or if I wanted sex, I wouldn't feel as bad about it or as bad talking about it to other people if I would have known that it's normal.